Kamal, brother. We just finished with Mission Impossible. I haven't
Bum,
seen a Mission
bum, bum,
Impossible
bum.
in years, my man. I
Really?
don't know. Well, let me ask first because I'm not sure. Are you a Mission Impossible follower? You subscribe to Mission Impossible? You've seen the ones in the past?
Do you have a movie that you can watch like anytime,
I
or
got a,
even
I
a
got,
series of
I
movies?
got a few.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you got a nice little snack or something. It's like it's nothing to do. You can turn this one on and you entertain. You got
This
something like
Mission
that?
Impossible.
No, I'm just asking. Do you have something like
I
that?
do have a film like
Oh,
that.
okay. That's me when it comes to the Possible franchise.
Oh well, then you a fan for sure.
Even the one that they didn't quite put in this one, which is the second one, the one with Thandie Newton.
Oh, because at the beginning of this one, it was a lot. I like how they went
Right.
with they did all the flashbacks.
Not
With
enough.
not enough.
Because they missed out. People didn't like that one, and I don't know why they didn't like it. This the second one. It's the one where he's hanging over the cliff.
Right.
Yeah,
That
so
was
we got to
crazy.
see that scene,
We got to see
but he
that.
showed like the girls in like from the other ones, but he didn't show Thandie. It's a beautiful scene where Thandie is about to take her own life, and she's walking along the sidewalk. I can't remember what. I think they were in Sydney, Australia. The shot, and it was a beautiful shot, and it would have been perfect for them to put it in this.
Okay. Well,
They left it out.
regarding this one, the final reckoning. Were you satisfied? Did Tom Cruise do his job when it comes to Mission Impossible regarding this film?
You guys out there are going to be mad at my biases and my gender separation.
That's okay, brother. We love you regardless.
All right. So there's a thing, a secret thing in in creating films is that there are films that they make for women and there are films that they make for men.
Okay, I'm assuming you about to say this was made for both, but go ahead.
I am. It was made for both. So when you're having to sit and watch a film that they purposely designed for both, it makes it a little bit frustrating from a guy who my whole life this has been a guy movie. A guy movie, we don't need any explanation. We don't care why something works the way it works in order for the mission to be accomplished. I don't care the technology of the key. I don't care about how if the law of gravity it doesn't work in this particular space. But for some reason on the lady side, they need that. They need to know like okay, why is he doing this when this is over here? So in this movie, they explain a lot of stuff and they re-explain. They over, like how many times in this film did you hear why this mission is so important?
Okay, that's a good take. Let me give you some pushback on that.
Okay.
With just this movie in particular is being as big and promoted as it is,
Mm-hmm.
we want the men and the women to come see this film.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you agree and understand that part.
Right.
This is
Right.
for the studio to say
Right.
this is for both. We're
And
making it for both.
and men have become like how women I would probably by listening to what you just said would take it a little bit further and say that it's not really man and woman. It's more um feminine versus masculine. I think perhaps a woman could sit and watch the film and not give a crap about it and love the action and everything too.
Okay.
But there also could be a guy who could be like, well, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. If that was supposed to happen, then this was supposed to happen, and I don't get it. And why is it blah, blah, blah? And like this MCU universe type fan will be out there watching Mission Impossible, even though he's an MCU fan, which anyway.
Okay, does it? Okay, I get it. Does
But you
it
get-
matter what type of female character it is? Because it seemed like it was a little both in here. You had the quiet one, which was really badass. She
Mhm.
said, "I just kill people.
I just kill people.
That's all I do."
That's it.
But then you have the
I don't know how
one
to
that
kill.
was, I believe, I haven't watched many of the other ones,
like
but the one that was with Tom
right.
Cruise.
I care about you.
I
want,
care, and
Yeah.
she put him out of that cold
Right.
water,
Right.
and she was just keeping him warm in that
Right.
little white thing.
Right.
So-
right.
It's a little bit of both. Like
Well,
we're showing different types of women as well.
Right. I'm not talking about the females in the film. I'm talking about the writing of the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the females in the film were absolutely great. I mean, it's a lot of advancement for like we were talking about it in another a review also, where I was saying you never know. It could have been a woman flying that airplane for the military. And as you witness in here, it was a lot of women in the military, like in commanding positions. We had a female president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you about that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second film since we've been, knocking out some of these reviews where we've seen 2 African American
Right.
female presidents.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought you were gonna ask me which one was the best.
Well, no, I didn't ask you that.
Oh, okay. Okay. You don't want to talk about it though?
Well, no, you can let me know if you thought of the best. Obviously, the 2 female presidents that we've seen, obviously, it's
Right.
been 2 of the most iconic actresses
Yeah.
people would say in our generation.
Right.
So I've just never seen 2 back to back so soon. I don't know if it's just like, hey, let's show more African American women in power,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just how it was written. I don't
The
know.
timing is right. Kamala Harris, kind of propelled that. We actually could have had an African American president many years before Obama, but it was just the timing was just not right. Because you saw a lot of movies like in the 90s with African American presidents. Morgan Freeman, Chris Rock, and who else? But anyway, a few others. So I think personally that Angela Bassett plays a much better president.
Yeah, of course, in G20
Mm-hmm.
review, she was way more on a mission. Obviously,
Right.
she's the one that's going to save the day.
Right.
Angela is just basically playing a presidential role.
By the book. By the book. But she knew in order to get it done that she had to break the rules a little bit. But she really didn't break the rules.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
she just didn't tell people who, and that was, for Kate and point. But yeah, Angela did a great job. All the ladies in this did a great job. Don't think that I mean that the females in here didn't do a fantastic job. I just mean the writing was designed for a female viewer or a feminine viewer and a masculine viewer. Masculine viewer, I'm saying, is the guy who doesn't care about arrangement of plot or needs to understand about theory of execution, whereas the feminine personality requires that type of knowledge in order for it to make more sense to them.
Okay. All right. Now,
Talk about that another time.
in regard to this film,
Mhm.
The Reckoning, the Final Reckoning,
Right.
were you standing on the stunts? Some of the
yeah,
best you've
yeah.
ever seen?
Right.
Because the one that you referenced earlier about the hanging off the cliff,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was, to me, that was cool.
You like that?
I did. I like when I
Okay.
seen
Right.
when they threw that little clip in there.
Right.
I was like, oh man, I remember that one. That was like, whoo, that
Yeah.
was crazy.
Okay.
But obviously, with the cover of this one,
hmm
everybody knew the plane was coming.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of marketing regarding that. Oh, yeah, you got your poster. Okay. Okay.
It's upside down.
We right there. We knew it was coming with the plane, and I thought it was great. So
Right.
regarding this one, you think this is some of the best stunts we've seen? I've liked others more in other films
Right.
than this one. So what's your take on what we got in the Final Reckoning?
I mean,
Were you blown away?
by the stunts?
Yeah.
Nah,
No.
not really. Nah.
Tom
stunts-
Cruise up there doing that with no stunt devil didn't just blow you away?
You know what I actually thought was for me?
Yeah.
Because I've seen his stunts before.
It's
It's either going
see the plane.
well, that's what I was about to say. It's either going to be a motorcycle
Yeah.
where he's chasing the bad guy. It's either going to be a car where he's chasing the bad guy. It's either going to be on foot where he's chasing the bad guy. It's always in the Mission Impossible closer to the end. It's always where it's the bad guy and him, and it's a one-on-one. And there's some form of transportation. Like there was a train. There was the airplane, of course.
Yeah, I remember the train with the helicopter.
With the helicopter.
And it blew him on the train.
Right, right.
So he already did the helicopter.
Red light, green light, boom. That was the end.
Yeah. So I
But
guess
yeah.
this was him stepping it up.
So yeah, that was an awesome scene with the train. I loved watching that from a long time ago. I love the motorcycle scene. People say they don't like the motorcycle scene because it looked like you could kind of tell that the motorcycle was propped on something and no one was really riding it. But John Woo directed that, and at the time when I watched it, I was impressed by it. So I'm at that point now where a stunt is a stunt. What I was more impressed about, what I really liked,
that's what I'm needing to know.
In relationship to the stunts is the invisible stunt that they did. So the young lady that you were talking about, I think her name is Rose.
The silent killer?
Not the silent one, but the more of the romantic.
Oh, with Tom.
With Tom,
yeah. I don't recall her name, but yeah.
She, with that scene where she was watching the action, but the camera was on her. So the only thing we did was heard what was going on.
Right. We watching her.
Right. And her facial expressions and her
actions. At the action.
Right. Because she's never seen Tom go hard like that. I mean, like an axe in the chest and a meat cleaver.
Yeah, it sounded like it was a real vicious beatdown.
A real vicious beatdown. So that was actually a little bit more exciting to me.
Oh yeah.
It's almost kind of like an idea. And I don't want to spoil it, but you have an idea that is a little bit similar in the fact of the relationship of using sound as opposed to visuals.
I agree.
And getting the same effect.
I agree. Honestly, I was a little shocked by that scene because to me it comes off as Tom Cruise wanna show you he can do the action.
Right.
I was like, I'm surprised because Tom typically want to show you him beating them up or fighting or something. But I did enjoy that scene. What did you think, since we on stunts, about the ship or that was rotating?
Oh, the submarine.
Submarine that's underneath the water.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting scene. Like for it to like move a little bit and a little bit, I'm like, oh, this is gonna make it challenging.
Right.
But once it started rolling, I said, oh, this is, I don't see a difficult task topping this one. What you think about that one with the submarine?
Let me ask you something. When he was underwater, even that. When he was underwater in that submarine, did you feel like it was really underwater?
A little, for me.
Yeah.
And I felt that he wasn't gonna make it.
Oh yeah.
I was like, he definitely ain't making it out of
Right.
this.
They did that really good about making you feel that,
Yeah.
like, how, because no one is coming down there to save him.
Nobody's coming.
You know,
Like unlike the beginning when he was tied to the chair.
Yeah, yeah,
and he told his lady friend,
yeah,
just remember, it's just pain.
Right.
It won't last forever.
right.
But I'm saying, with time,
Mm-hmm.
it's always a way out of the chair.
It's always a way out.
So this is gonna be easy.
Yeah.
But when it went to the submarine,
Didn't have no way out.
no way out.
If he got locked down, because he kept going through levels and levels and levels, and I'm just and I knew that submarine was gonna bump up against that door. I just knew it because it was so close to the door, and so I said, "Man, he's not gonna be able to get through that. That submarine's gonna bump through the door, man." And then the fact that he had to take off his gear.
Oh yeah.
Like come on.
I said, then when he finally got out,
right.
I say, cool. He got out, just make his way to the top.
Right.
Then his backpack got stuck.
Took
it down a little lower.
Right.
And I've been in a few lakes. I ain't no professional swimmer, but
right.
I said it's impossible for him to make it to the top.
It's impossible.
It's too far.
Right.
He's gonna be too tired.
Right.
And I guess it's just time. But that's where that little device came in. You had a little thought about that.
I did.
When they found him because of that device.
They switched it. It wasn't the device that he lost. It was his gear. So they switched it on me.
Okay.
I thought that it was going to be like, oh, he going to drop that and then they're not going to be able to find him, everything like that. But when he got into that fetal position and they rotated the camera where he levitated to the top of the ice, they showed that earlier when they were talking about the plan. So when I saw him go into that fetal position and he's levitating, I was like, oh, okay, somebody's getting ready to come grab him. And then of course they showed the beacon. So yeah, we knew he was good. It would have been nice if they had a little bit more romance, they had a little bit more of a moment in the little pod that they were in. That would have been a nice touch, but again, you working with 2025, man. People.
What do you think? And this is just me. I'm curious about your take on this because it seems to me in certain films the timing is always off, in my opinion. And I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
When he was with the president, Tom Cruise, she said we have 3 days.
Right.
We got to get this done in 3 days.
Yeah.
That was an example of it was a time issue, time constraint.
Right.
When he got closer to the bad guy, that was in that big old cave.
Yeah.
And the guy had his finger on the trigger, took it off, the 20-minute timer set for that bomb to go off.
Right.
And when that set immediately, I said, 20 minutes is not enough time
to do all
to do all of what happened with getting out of there, driving.
Right.
Then he got in a wreck.
Right.
Then he ended up running through a field. Then he got picked up by a plane.
Right.
Then he took over that plane.
Right.
Then he got underneath the other guy and got under his plane.
Right.
Then took over his plane.
Right.
Then fell out of that plane. Then finally saved the day. So I was like, the timing could be a little different, but I guess to make the audience feel like 20 minutes all we got.
20 minutes, TikTok.
What you think about the time with that, man?
Well, that y'all didn't catch that. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, there is a personality, they don't give a crap about that.
I see. Like, they ain't even thinking about the time.
They're not even thinking about it. He's
gonna do it.
To them, it's like I can accomplish a lot in 20 minutes. And then another thing too is that, and it's hard to make this translate on screen, but it's like to us, it seems like it's if you show one thing, that means that something else is happening afterwards. But how they wanted to betray, that's the reason they kept. Did you notice how they kept, like, if you said something and you were in your room and I said something and I was in my room, they meshed it, to where we were saying the same sentence.
Yeah,
but we were in two different. So what they're trying to do is establish that everything that's happening is happening at the exact same time.
Right, right.
And then sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do, because when they cut to the in the cave,
oh, in the cave, where
you're
Tom is
thinking
at.
that you're in the cave and that's that time going on.
Right.
And then when we leave the cave and we go up in the sky and we're flying an airplane, that's another unit of time, but it's not the same time. I'm not saying that you think like that, but a lot of people do think like that. So they're trying to figure out how to translate timing in small amounts of time to make it feel like a small amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, but still having to have enough time to show you everything.
Okay.
Because it's 20 minutes by our time. Like all that we saw was 20 minutes by real time.
I didn't look, but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, no, just 20 minutes.
It did not feel like it. It felt like 30.
But the logical part is like there is time between. Life doesn't happen to where I blink my eye and I'm already on the flying field. I've started my engine. I've put on my hat and it like life doesn't work like that, where but they're working on it.
Okay, and another question.
Mm-hmm.
The villain.
Okay.
I can't recall a lot of villains.
Right.
Of all the Mission Impossibles.
Okay.
But when it comes to big films like this,
right,
your take on the villain, do he need to be as big as Tom when it comes to Tom taking him down? I didn't feel really threatened by this villain. Yeah. I didn't really feel that he was like like the man or couldn't be conquered or nothing. So what's your take on this particular villain in this film?
So as much as of a Mission Impossible fan, I do have to admit there's something about the story that I'm not really familiar with, and that is how Tom became a Mission Impossible, a part of the MI squad. Anyway, the IMF is what I mean to say. But apparently Gabriel killed somebody, and Ethan character took the blame for it. So, that's when he was about to go to jail and everything, but the IMF recruited him. I only got what I just said based off a little bit of clips that I got from watching Final Reckoning and this particular Final Reckoning. So there is a story with Gabriel, but I don't know really what it is. Now really, Mission Impossible fans will say that Philip Seymour Hoffman, I believe that's his name, Philip Hoffman Seymour or something like that. He was in one of oh my God, which one was he in? Yeah, I'm a Mission Impossible fan, as you can tell. But anyway, Philip Seymour Hoffman played the bad guy, and arguably, with the people who are a fan of Mission Impossible, would agree that he was the best villain. He was the one who had more dialogue. He was the one who had more, who posed more of a psychological threat to Ethan.
Yeah, I didn't feel it with this guy.
No. Oh. Philip was the one. If you remember this, if you saw this one, that Ethan hung over. He was flying in one of those big military jets, and Ethan was interrogating him, and he made him fall out the airplane. You don't remember that one?
I don't think so.
Okay, no problem. But and there was like this verbal battle between Ethan and him. So he was like, "What's your name?" And Philip is asking Ethan, "What's your name?" Because I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt everybody that you love, and I'm gonna get your wife or your girlfriend, and I'm gonna make her bleed. right in
Oh
front of you.
yeah, that guy.
That guy.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
That guy
Right.
felt like I was like, yeah, time
Right.
is over.
It's over.
Like even though it's
Yeah,
Mission
you
Impossible,
right,
but
right.
that guy,
Right.
he was badass.
He was
He
badass.
was badass. Regarding the bad guy, do you think in Mission Impossible, and I'm related to
You mean Gabriel? This bad guy?
no, just the bad guy
Oh, in general?
in Mission Impossible
Okay.
in general.
Okay.
Do you think it works better if you got that one badass that they go back and forth throughout the movies that they make, or how it is in a DC Marvel world where it's always Batman versus Joker?
Right.
Do you think it's better that they switch up the bad guy every movie? Because I guess it's another mission.
Right.
Or is it more interesting to you that these two characters just always at each other's neck, like the Joker and Batman, like a situation like that?
I think the difference between the two is that on the Batman side, generally we get to see the evolution of the bad guy. When you know who Joker was before, except for this Heath Ledger Joker, I think that particular Joker was already established, but he did do a lot of talking about what led him up to be who he is. You know, he would say things like, "You know how I got this scar on my face?" And he'd say that, like, and he'd come up with a different story each time. So you knew that he was pretty messed up. But there was always a beginning, a middle, and an end with Marvel or with, you know, DC kind of bad guys, comic book bad guys. And action movie bad guys, I like doing the same thing. I like that we get to see that this bad guy is actually just a normal guy at first, but the system got to him in some kind of way, and a person like Ethan Hunt is just in his way now, because you know what I mean.
I like that better.
Yeah, but it seems like these type of bad guys, they want to play with the protagonist. They want to include them in the game that they're doing. You know, it's like, I can't get this done without Ethan, and Ethan can't get this done without me. I can't destroy the world without the good guy, and he can't save the world without me. I'm you know, it's like, it's not really my favorite, but I'm old school. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. I'd agree. Let me ask you about the time.
Okay.
2 hours and 41 minutes.
Could you feel it?
Hell yes.
Wow.
I could.
Okay. Because when it was over for me, I was just like,
was it too long, short?
Like, dang, it's been 2 hours already. Because I thought it was just 2 hours. I didn't know it was 2:45. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. No. I felt it a little bit in the torpedo scene, the submarine scene.
Submarine. That was a long scene.
Yeah.
Underneath the water.
Right.
Making its way to the key.
Right.
It took a while.
Right. I felt that's probably where that 40 minutes, that extra 40 minutes that I didn't know was there. But no, I the timing didn't bother me at all, man.
Okay, let me end with this.
You saw me. I'm dancing and
I mean, you was there, but to me it felt a little long, especially with the submarine part.
Right.
And it was a couple scenes that didn't have to be as long when Tom is explaining it with the crew.
That part.
He had a moment with the crew.
Right.
That moment at the end,
when
everybody came together, that felt like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why can't they just come as a group?
I agree. The explanations, if they cut out all of the explanations, or
even if they shorten them.
Yeah, just shorten them.
And I'm like,
or made it, you know, shorten them and made the explanation about a different type of not the same, like you're the fate of the world. You're the fate of the world. We can't do it without you. How many times did you hear that throughout the film? And it's like, you only need to say that 1 or 2 times.
Do you think? I don't think we needed it as much, especially with the beginning. What did you think about the beginning before we got the title card? Because that was a good I don't know how long. It
I don't
felt
know
like
how
a good
long. It was
25
supposed to be
minutes.
just 10 minutes. That's how long it's supposed to be technically.
It felt like a good
Felt like an
20.
hour.
Too long? Too short?
The only reason that for me is because like to me that was made for people like you who haven't just watched. I've already watched the one before this one like 20 times. So I don't need to know and get caught up. But that whole first part was just catch up. That's all it was.
Okay. Okay, I got you on that. So let's end with this. With this film, which you just checked out,
Mm-hmm.
who is it
I'm
for?
burning up out here, y'all.
Couples. I'm going to see it with my boy because it's Mission Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a group? Hey, we should all go see this as a group.
Mm-hmm.
How should people check this film out?
Don't think it's couples. Like just your girl or your guy friend. I don't think it's couples. Group, yeah. But honestly, the IMF, we solo. So this film, you don't have to go. You can feel comfortably fine buying your ticket by yourself and walking in this theater and getting your popcorn and drinking your drink absolutely solo. You don't need anybody. But if you got you and your boys going up here to watch it, and that'll be great. But I saw a lot of just solo seats in there today. So
Okay.
that because people that really a fan of IMF, we are in the shadows. We are the people that you don't see.
All right. And last question is where your cigar, brother? Where your cigar?
Man, TikTok tripping. They don't want me to smoke, so I'm kind of like not in the habit as much as I used to be. Before it was like, I bet I'm getting one as soon as we leave here, though. I'll tell you that.
So you got your stuff on your TikTok. What's your TikTok? Shout that out.
TikTok is everything is the same name. Kamal's Takes. KAMALSTAKE. Or is it Kamal's Takes? Is it S at the end of the take? I don't remember. I didn't design all of them, but but anyway, you type in that, you're gonna see a photograph of me dressed in some kind of something sexy.
All right, man. We'll let you get out this sun.